State your name.
Hi, I'm Trisha Perry.
How you doing, Trisha?
Hi.
Where you from?
I'm from fantastic Las Vegas right now.
Born and raised?
No,
No,
New York.
New York. I'm from New York.
Really? What part?
Rockland.
Rockland, you know,
Right outside-
Westchester.
Yeah.
There you
right out
go.
Palisades Mall is my spot.
Okay, there you go. Love it.
So, what was it like growing up in New York?
What was it like growing up in New York? It was a wonderful experience. It was a happy experience for me. I grew up in an area called Greenburgh, which is an unincorporated village outside of White Plains. Had a very sheltered childhood, thanks to my parents. And so many of my experiences were nicely calculated by them. Yeah, what I appreciate about New York specifically was the diversity in people and activities. Being able to go down to Manhattan, you know, no problem taking either Metro North or driving down and going to any of the thousands of museums. That was so much fun. Oh, gotta speak up? Okay.
Yeah, we're gonna get to the good stuff.
Okay.
So I'm gonna ask you some questions about growing up, about faith and whatnot. So growing up in New York, you said you were sheltered a little bit.
Yeah, definitely sheltered.
What was the background of your family? Like, did they go to church or what was
Oh, definitely. Baptist background. My parents originally from the South, you know, and so it definitely had a foundation in, I'd say, spirituality. And I'm not going to say religion so much, but spirituality and understanding, appreciating the church as being, you know, that focal point, you know, where you bring your kids on Sundays, and this is where the children learn how to do public speaking, because during Sunday school they have to stand up and do their part in whatever plays, and you know, yeah.
It's where we learn a lot, right?
We learn a whole lot, absolutely.
Was there ever a time, like, in your either late teens or any time where you felt like you were forced to go to church and you're like, I don't want to go anymore, I just want to do my own thing? Was that ever a phase for you?
Well, there are always phases of, oh my gosh, what time do I have to wake up to go to a certain service, you know? But I never felt completely pressured. I felt that it was just, this is what we did. You know, it's part of what my family engaged in. So I didn't think of it as something that I was being either introduced to as, okay, this is a new thing for the family. This is something, you know, my grandmother in South Carolina, you know, had the church up the hill. I just always remember going to that church, and then at home, going to our church and having the minister, having the reverend participate in some of our family activities, you know, coming to dinner, and you know, it wasn't a big thing. It wasn't.
Did you ever feel like it was a routine?
Routine. That's a good question. Not a challenging routine. Not a routine in the sense of a chore. Sometimes routines can become like chores. I didn't think of it as a chore. It was just something like.
Well, you know, like you do something every day or every week, and you do it the same way, and you do it everything like that. And did it ever become like monotonous?
That's a really good question. My gosh, I haven't thought about that. Did it ever become monotonous? Church didn't become monotonous. Going to church wasn't monotonous. There were other things that were monotonous, you know, that some got in the way, and I'd be tired on the weekends, so work became monotonous, quite frankly, you know, and you want to sleep in, and then, you know, things happen, you know.
So on a scale from 1 to 10, and this may be a weird question. Some people are like, oh, I can't answer that. On a scale from 1 to 10, how would you rate your relationship with God?
On a scale of 1 to 10, I think my relationship with God is a 10. Now, how someone might interpret my relationship is totally different, and quite frankly, I don't really care about how someone would interpret my relationship with God, because it's my relationship with God, and I feel very strongly about that. Again, I'm not into religion for the sake of religion. You know, I'm not into the man-made denominations and so forth. But my personal relationship with God is a good one because He knows me better than I know myself. And I know that when I'm ready to have dialogue, He's always there, and I rely on Him a lot. You know, I don't consider myself in the driver's seat. You know, I'm a passenger. Sometimes, you know, I'm one of those what do you call it, passenger drivers, and sometimes I want to sit in the back seat, but that's not cool either. God's given me a brain to think, to be able to make good choices and bad choices, and either way, I mean, He's there for me, and I just thank Him for being patient with me.
Patient with you for what? Just
patient with me in everything that I do. I'm not perfect at all whatsoever,
So,
but
what do you think is the number one thing that you could do that would strengthen your relationship with God?
Strengthen my relationship with God, definitely having more dialogue, having more quiet time. Having more quiet time.
On a daily, well, let's say on a weekly basis, about how many hours a week do you think you spend with God?
How much quiet time do I have to spend with God? Not enough. Not enough. Could I quantitatively give you an amount? Let's see.
Just to round up. I mean, I think an hour, 2 hours, 3 hours.
How much time, truthfully, do I spend with God? I'm being perfectly realistic, about 45 minutes per week.
Okay.
And it's times like this where I'm like, oh my gosh, I need some me time. And when I say me time, it's not just me getting my nails done, no, I need some yeah, exactly. It's like meditation time is so important, and I don't schedule that in my schedule. I schedule everything else, it seems, and that's just. It's when that happens, and it's funny that you mentioned that, because I'm just in that zone right now, and it's an uneasy zone where I'm not spending enough time with having my dialogues.
How do you think your life would be different if you were to increase that time?
More organized, much more calm, more organized.
Happier, maybe?
Happier because being organized is very important to me. It's a priority. Yeah. Definitely.
Well, thank you for sharing.
Thank you.